For those that were in the meeting, I apologize. This is Mayor Martinez. We had a technical difficulty. We are back in the meeting. However, we are going to jump to executive session, as read in the agenda. Thank you. Okay, the time is now 7:34. We are back in session. Let's see, where were we at? We were giving an update by Mike for the Public Works updates and announcements. So I apologize, sir. Apologize for the technical difficulty. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, and then next, we were tasked, with the demo and removal of the tank. We are working on that right now. We are going to get the paint tested
What,
for lead.
what tank?
There's a metal tank.
Yes, we're gonna get it tested
In the
for
back of the
lead.
property.
You're talking about the big one?
Back there in the ACO area.
That's
Okay.
stainless steel, right? The big one?
No, it's regular, it's
It's
steel.
cast.
Cast
Really?
iron.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just iron. It is steel.
Oh, it's stainless.
And we're getting it tested for lead, to see, how to dispose of it.
Yeah. And also, I don't think y'all should be doing it. I think it's too big of a hazard. But that's
Oh,
my opinion.
definitely, that needs to go out on contract.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, but how we dispose of is gonna depend on whether it's got lead in it.
Yes,
It goes to
Yeah,
Ashland
direct.
salvage.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
salvage will not,
If it's got lead.
salvage. If it has
Right,
lead
it's got
paint,
lead.
they will not.
Right.
So if you can prove that it's not lead, that this test,
But
then
the
they'll take it.
previous tanks that were here
Uh-huh.
all went to
Actually,
Ashland, all the valves and all that stuff.
Okay.
We took a lot of it over there ourselves, myself. and
Are they asking you
Chris
to
and all
confirm
that.
that it's not lead before they will take it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and he's gonna bring a portable analyzer and just put it up next to it and then whatever, however, push the button.
That
and
makes sense.
and then, so that's in the process. And then one more thing of what Stifler was saying about the ramp and the awning, the power washing and the replacement of the top rails. Yes, Public Works can do that, can do all of that.
Sounds good.
We need to find out how much paint they have on hand, though, whether we need to.
Yeah,
buy
that-
stuff, but that should be within the. part
But the top handrails will be replaced.
and Public Works
They
does
cannot
have a
be-
park, a municipal building or city of, park and community center building fund. So there's not an issue with budget,
That's what I was just saying, yeah, they got that in the budget,
and it won't come out of their spending.
Yeah, and we can do it.
the building budget.
Yeah.
So I did have a question, while Priscilla was out dealing with, her husband in that
Mhm,
whole thing.
yes.
The mayor had approved some expenditure to go work on that trail in the park to get some road base and then
Yeah.
or something and level it down. Because that had been a question from some of the citizens, and I'm noticing them starting to get back out there more often.
Yes.
So I was wondering, where is that at in the timeline?
Yes, the supplier that we just got right now for the base, he has equipment and the material, which is crushed granite, to come and spread and I mean, dump and spread. So I can get with him and I can get that going. His name is Joe. It's real close, 281.
So you just need to find out when he can fit it in his schedule.
Yeah.
I just know the citizens are starting to use it more.
Yes,
So if we can give them an update and
Okay.
let them know that we haven't forgotten about it.
yeah, I talked to him about it when he was here the other day delivering that road base.
All right, great, thank you.
Okay, I'll put that.
Is that a patch job or is that a full resurface?
No, it's,
The crushed granite is expensive, isn't it?
well, it's, I don't know, expensive. It was initially done with the crushed granite.
We have the quote that Priscilla had obtained and the mayor had approved it because it was within the budget in a certain amount. So the mayor might know. what
Because
the quote
road base,
actually said.
you know, it's when it gets wet like that, I mean, it gets muddy. You know, and
We'll just reconvene with them and see what what it would take to get it out there.
Just a few areas
Yeah.
on the backside where it curves and
Yeah, no,
it goes down, it
I was
washes down.
involved with patching the low spots with base years ago.
Yeah, just let us know, Mike, on how that goes. That way
Yeah.
we can update some people.
Yes, I will. And, just regular maintenance and, you know, taking care of whatever tasks that, are brought to us, we will do it.
You're doing.
And if we can't do it, then we will get it done.
Okay, thank you, Mike. So we're turning over to the mayor now, so it's gonna be unfinished business.
Yep, so agenda item 7A, discuss it on possible action on a contract for codification services. Not necessarily a big update. We did reconvene with Municode and Civic Plus related to codification, also because of some other issues that are going on with our website. So codification seems to be a consistent price based off the number of ordinances that we have in our system. So as we continue to add some, that'll continually to change their number. It's a moving target. And then I've already sent over the list to Dr. Johnson, our city administrator, excuse me, to begin tracking down some of the items that were missing, as noted by our mayor pro tem. Which then actually leads into agenda item 7B. So my apologies for kind of blending those two. And then, yeah, I think that moves then to agenda item 7C, discuss or possible action on awarding a professional service contract for vehicle towing and storage services, including required accounting and record keeping based on responses to the city of Sandy Oaks request for proposal. So we did open it up for bid again. It did go through the Wilson County News. At that point, we did provide in your packet K3, which was a part of the original request for bid, request for proposal. Then we received an additional bid from River City Towing. Then I want to say there was one last one from Johnny's Wrecker Service.
But nothing from that company that spoke with us at the beginning.
Correct. They missed the bid
And
period.
that's the RFP.
Yep.
Exactly. Like,
So I saw the one for Johnny's, you said you have another one that's not in our packet.
No, the only one that wouldn't be in our packet is Bear Towing, just because they missed the RFP.
Okay.
But everybody that we have received
But
to
these are the
date,
other two, correct?
yes. So
Which other?
so it's K3, apologies, K3.
This is the one that came the first time with our first
Oh, is that
RFP.
from
Yep.
George West?
Yeah,
Right.
and then this is the one that was with our packet at the
Right.
December 11th meeting.
Right.
But we didn't cover it because it wasn't on the agenda. So I just kept it from that meeting. And then the Johnny's Wrecker Service is the one that's in here. So just a general question. How does it benefit the city to do this contract? Do we get paid like for each vehicle they tow, for each day they keep it, every time they auction it?
I think our best option or looking to the future and this would be temporary. Up to a certain point.
I understand we're
Our-
gonna
the
go through
idea
your
is that-
a lot, but right
Right.
now, if we were to do a contract now, where's the benefit as opposed to waiting until we get an impound lot?
In the event that we seize vehicles for drugs or what, any other reason
Committing
that
a
we,
crime.
and we seize the vehicle and we're able to auction the vehicle, then those funds would go right back into the police department. At some point, we would have the funds to get our own
So with the
storage
contract,
facility.
you
So
said
this
that-
is like a starting point.
So the contract says when they auction, we don't get all that money when they auction. We'll get some of the money based on
If-
some of these RFPs.
Well, if there's no lien on the vehicle, if there's a lien, depending how much the lien is, we would pay the lien and then auction it. If it's a large amount, if it's not feasible to auction the vehicle, we can't afford to pay the
So this
lien
one says we only get 25% of the net proceeds.
off the towing, not off the
Auction,
auction.
auction proceeds, city fee, or 25% of the net proceeds. is what it specifically says in
Is
here.
that the one you're looking at? Which one? are you
So this
looking
is the Johnny one that's online. That's why I'm
Yeah.
asking in general, how does this work? Cause this one is saying one thing where like we get so much per unit. So is that like the standard? Is that how we're going to
I'm not-
integrate
I'm
into
not
our
sure how-
contract
I
regardless?
didn't see anything in
So
River-
from the city attorney's
at?
perspective,
I didn't
how we
see,
wrote up the RFP, is that the expectation? Is that our contract
I-
is going to be including? Cause this guy is that specific. If they tow a light duty vehicle, we get $50. They'll take care of everything and then we get $50. That's all we get out of it. And medium duty, heavy duty, and then there's the auction. If they auction it, we get a set amount. So is that typical for how these are gonna work? And this kind of work verbiage is in our contract?
We don't have to accept what they propose, we can change it,
Right,
but based on what the RFP and what the speakers say.
but that's typically what goes into a contract that we're gonna
Oh.
do with this company is my question.
Yeah.
So we can, I understand that we can adjust this, but this is the kind of thing we're looking for is so much per vehicle, a certain percentage of the proceeds when it's sold. If it is sold at
If it's
auction.
sold.
So for
no,
each,
another thing is the court fines, any fines that are associated with with the impound, they're still gonna end up going to court. There's some type of charge
Right.
associated with the tow.
And we do have somebody from Johnny's on the line, I mean, here in person, River City,
City, yeah.
apologies.
Mine, I can shed some light if you want.
so,
If I
well,
could say something real quick before you let it, the main thing that we are looking to benefit the police department, the
That's what I
biggest
need to know.
complaint we have is when we stop a vehicle and then it's getting towed, my guys are sitting out there for in excess of an hour every time before a record gets there and picks up the vehicle. That's an hour that they're not on the street doing something that they could have been doing, right? Regardless of how much the city's gonna make, or they're all gonna be different on that, right? Until we have our own impound yard, and then now we're auctioning, and then the DA's office will get 33% of the auction money, and then we would get all of the rest. But until that happens, our main concern is we don't wanna be out there for an hour and 45 minutes, or 2 hours sometimes, or even longer sometimes.
so that's the
before
biggest
we-
benefit because our RFP specified a 20-minute response time. Someone's gonna be here in 20 minutes. And then according to our city attorney, we can dictate what kind of, or we can request the contract
Right.
includes certain kind of roads.
It'd be great if we could tell, if
It's very-
somebody could tell us, hey.
So our financial
Get
income,
somebody
okay.
there for you in 30 minutes, that's all. Right,
Perfect.
and you know what, if you can't get it to us within 30 minutes, then throw it for half the cost. Or something, right? But it's,
Sliding scale.
yeah, something to that
It's a
effect.
sliding
Right now, it
scale.
takes, sometimes we're there 2 hours or longer before the record gets there.
Absolutely. So
What-
is the goal from this meeting merely to select the contractor or work out all the details of that contract?
I think it's,
So we can
it's a
get
select,
as much information as we can and possibly select. If being River City's here, I'd like to ask them some more questions as far as response time.
Just so I know
What
what our
is their,
expectation is.
what is their,
I think we could select a company to go with, and then we can hash out the details.
Because there's a lot of details based on this
Right.
conversation. All right,
Exactly.
perfect.
what is your fleet size and what would you see as your,
Well,
an acceptable response time for you to get a towed vehicle out here?
as far as, but also my, forgive me here. We have our truck we use and we'll take us usually around 30 minutes to get out to you guys. Of course, y'all are a little bit further out than we usually are, but, you know, usually we ask for 30 minutes, 45 minutes at the most, because that's what the county requires from us as well. Now, to be fair, because a lot of times, you know, if there's an accident on a road, you know, we're gonna get the brunt of it and try to get to it, but as time goes by, we will get here quicker. We're in the process of setting up a satellite, if you would, a satellite office here in the area. By doing that, that'll allow us to be here a lot quicker. And that's our end goal here, is try to service you guys the best we can. Any way we can. To the questions that she was asking earlier about, the fees and such that are reflected, or you mentioned, having to pay liens and so forth. Well, that's one of the things that we would offer as well. We do the information, we'll pull all the information, we get the information from the creditors. We send out our registered letters, we do our timely basis, get everything that needs to be taken care of. So that after all is said and done, the bank has been notified, the owners have been notified. After 40 days, if they have not answered us, then at that point, we can sell the vehicle free and clear of any lien. And that's,
40 days,
it's a 40 day process. And that's, they say 30, but it's usually 40 days. I mean, I'm not gonna, it is what it is. They charge, once a vehicle comes into the lot, first night it stays over. We send a notification 24 hours in and time starts clicking.
So the city's objective here is if we impound a vehicle, we have the impounded vehicle, we're not looking for the towing company to make a profit off of a
No.
seized vehicle. The city is looking to make that
And I
profit.
understand that that's the situation, and being the fact that there's a third party here that's doing the storage facility, the insurance and the procedural, everything that you need to get from Texas Department of License regulations in order to do storage vehicle services, which is quite a bit. And that aspect, that's where the storage facility will recoup their monies. From there, they pay the towing bills and whatever needs to get taken care of from there. When it comes to vehicles that you have seized, well, those vehicles, of course, you get your whatever comes out of it minus the
The towing fee,
well, not so much the towing fees and the notification fees, which are the registered letters that need to go out. Now, they let us do $50, but when we do 2 at a time and 2 at a time, it adds up really quick. So we only charge the $50 for the first time, $50 for the second. And in essence, you're looking at about maybe $200 in fees that get back to the company, and then you guys would fit.
So what responsibility lies on our police department when we seize a vehicle? We have you come and get it in the police department, what's the procedure as far
Okay,
as our people, our chief?
Chief, what is different? So you call us out to scene of an accident. We come out to the accident, there's 2 vehicles involved. You're having us take the vehicles, we just make it easy, so okay, if you're an accident, they get impounded. That's simple. At that point, you take an inventory of the vehicle
Right.
and your form, whatever form that you give us, we'll take it, we'll take them down. They'll be impounded. They'll be in the locked up storage facility. And then at that point, the process starts and goes on from there. The owners of the vehicles can come and pick up their vehicle 24 hours a day, anytime they want. They want to come back and get it, and you want to go out there and
So I think what we're trying to get to,
Okay.
okay. Impounded vehicle, seized vehicle, 2 completely different things. If I see the vehicle needs to be used in commission of felony, I have 30 days file seizure. I file the chapter 59 paperwork, it goes to the district attorney's office. They send out the notifications that are to be sent
You're right.
out. You don't need to send anything out for it, but shouldn't be no $50 fee based
no,
on
no, no,
that.
on this,
That's a seized vehicle. Now, on a impounded vehicle, that you pick up, and now the 40 days, that timeline's gonna start because somebody hasn't gone to pick up their vehicle. I had no interest in seizing that vehicle because it wasn't used in commission of felony. Maybe it was in an accident, maybe for whatever reason, they were driving with no insurance. I call you, you come, the vehicle gets towed, the registered owner never goes to get it. 40 days pass. You sent out the notifications, you auction that vehicle. Does the city get any portion of that? Because that wasn't a seized vehicle, that was just a vehicle I impounded for no insurance, or do you keep 100% of the
no,
proceeds?
that gets kept to the third party. That gets to the storage facility. Storage facility keeps that.
So that would go to the storage facility, so we're only gonna get the portion of a seized vehicle that's used in commercial, but there shouldn't be.
That's
no-
my objective.
Okay.
No fees are being.
Once we have our
incurred to you
impound lot,
guys.
we
Got
get that.
Right.
But those vehicles, as they come in, they'll be known as being on a hold, on a police hold, and at that point, they're set aside in the storage facility where you'll have 24-hour access to it, and you will,
And the owner can't touch it.
and order cannot touch it.
Right, no. if
And
we
that's
put
the
a hold
one
on
where,
it,
where we would
yeah,
get the money
That's
from the
correct.
auction.
If we
The other one is all on you because the
Correct.
customer didn't come get it, or
Right.
the owner didn't come get it. It's yours to take care of and do whatever.
Correct.
And we won't get any money out of that,
Right.
out of that one because you just took it
At
away
that
for
point,
us.
yeah,
they did all their-
we take the headache.
Yeah.
We take you don't have the insurance, you don't have the title, your title don't have the title in your name, you don't have grandpa died 3 years ago and nobody got the title. We take care of all that stuff for you, and of course, still servicing your vehicles and city-owned vehicles as well, free of charge. Okay,
Where's your facility at?
our facility, we have our.
Remember our conversation that on Austin, it's at
We-
422 Stevens Avenue, it's on
Stevens
a.
Avenue, correct.
Stevens.
422 Stevens Avenue.
And then where did you say you were thinking about a satellite?
We're trying to, thinking maybe over here on the other side of Mathis here. Down this side, we're looking to see if we can find something, but,
A lot of it is, so.
well, we have to take a look. You know.
I know, we don't do commercial
Try to
business.
get it
How do
back
you do
into
that?
the area that we're trying to.
So
We can read.
just going back to your fee schedule. Everything pretty much associated with your fees are contingent on the owners of the vehicles that you're towing. Nothing, the city doesn't
Right.
have to pay you anything when you tow a vehicle.
Correct.
Correct?
That's how I read it.
Yes.
The only time
If
we
it's
would
a
pay
seized
you,
vehicle, we would have to, that payment would come out of the proceeds when it was auctioned. Is what he was
right,
saying.
so we wouldn't have to pay you upfront on a seized
No.
vehicle.
On none of these will get paid, you'll pay that after the vehicle is.
What about a regular impounded vehicle that we, for no insurance, right? Do we have to pay that if the owner doesn't pay
No,
you?
no, you don't have to pay any of that stuff. Now, on seized vehicles, we do have a 5-day window. That needs to be notified that you're going to, in other words, in 5 days, we need to send a notification on our end. That's notifying, auto return, to let them know the vehicle has been processed. From what I understand, I may be wrong, I mean, speaking out of turn here, but I have to have, see if I can remember this year.
Yeah, I know we have 30 days file seizure at the district attorney's office, and they usually send out the notification, right?
If you don't see by the 5th day, you'll have to send the letter, state law says 5 days.
If we don't tell you, if we don't give you the paperwork saying it's seized within 5 days, then you have to do
The
something.
notification is gonna be sent out.
So the chief has 5 days to tell you he's gonna seize this
Right,
vehicle.
at that point, that gets done, because by that time, we will send
Yeah.
notification.
5 days for us to notify him that we are planning to seize that vehicle.
Right.
Now, if we choose, say, 20 days down the road comes, and we say, okay, we're not gonna file seizure on this vehicle,
Right,
you can reverse that, right?
at that point, that gets taken, we get it, and we return everything back to where we take care of all the fees. They get reimbursed to us once we sell the vehicle at auction.
Did you say one of the other
Um,
companies was
So,
on the line?
and so they can
Yeah.
be seized up to 30 days, but the 5th day, we have to send a notarized letter, even if it's seized on the 6th day. No matter what, on the 5th day, we're sending it out.
I've never seized a vehicle in 5 days.
Well, I don't think it's a seizure. I think it's just a notification.
I've never done that within 5 days.
But you've had administrators that have.
No, they didn't. He filed with the district administrator. No administrator ever got involved.
We've
with
known until the,
narcotics. I was in charge of chapter 59. We have to take the paperwork to the district attorney's office. And then they sent out the notifications, but everybody done it in 5 days because you're still doing an investigation.
Right.
I still need to find out what the lien is. Do you plan on seizing it or not seizing it? Was the registered owner driving it? There's a
well,
lot of
okay,
stuff.
but I mean, look, we could work that out, right? That's
Yeah.
not for here. So, look, I do have AJ and I do have Dylan at Johnny's. Is anybody else that has submitted a bid care to take any questioning? They're muted currently, but they should still hear. Hold on, somebody's talking. Give me 1 second. I can't. I got my room. Yes, can you say that again?
This is Dylan with Johnny's Record Service. If you guys have any questions for me.
Yeah, let's take thank you, sir, for your time. And then, give us 1 second.
Yes.
Along the same lines of questioning, Dylan, not sure if you heard the conversation, but tell us a little bit about your difference between a seizure or your process between a seizure and an irregular impound, right, in an accident.
Okay, yeah. So some of the large differences I heard. So the first 5 days he was talking about, that's going to be for a regular impound or regular accident vehicle, and you need to notify the registered owners or lien holders. TDLR requires that between 24 hours and the 5th day. Now, if it's something that's on a police hold for investigation, especially if it's going to be like a felony, that we are not required to send a notification out on. That's going to be up to the DA's office if it gets accepted by the DA. When it comes down to auction vehicles, we do have a 25% net proceed. There is a 50%, I'm sorry, a $50 fee for the initial impound. So let's say the vehicle is impounded by you guys and the registered owner insurance retrieves the vehicle within a week, 2 weeks. You guys will get the $50 no matter what. Now, if the vehicle does stay in our facility past 46 days, it is eligible for auction. And then therefore, if it is auctioned and the proceeds are over the amount for 25% of $50, you guys will recoup that money. The auction guidelines will be 46 days for a minimum to auction a vehicle due to it's between 24 hours and fifth day for the first notification, 15 to 19 days for the second notification, and then 31 days after that before the vehicle can be auctioned.
That only applies to impounded vehicles, correct?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Where is he located?
Where are you located at, sir?
Currently, we're located on Pat Booker Road in Universal City.
And would you have the 30 to 30-minute response time?
I'm going to be honest, it's going to be roughly around 45 minutes because we do currently serve another municipality close to you, and we're averaging about 36 minutes for them, but you guys are a little bit further from them.
How many vehicles are in your fleet, sir?
Our fleet has a total of 10 trucks. That's light through heavy duty.
And where do you store these vehicles that you're towing?
Currently at our facility at 315 Pat Booker Road, and that is our facility. It's not ran by a third-party company or anything like that. It's everything in-house by us.
Does this include any service for our vehicles? City-owned vehicles?
On pricing wise, or what exactly, sir?
Yeah, pricing wise?
Pricing wise, I would have to look at the proposed amounts, but we do offer a discounted rate for any city vehicles. I believe it is a 60% discount of whatever the
On this,
proposed rate is.
so on the proposal that I'm looking at,
Mm-hmm.
for example, under the light duty section, at the very bottom of those bulleted statements, the last thing says city fee $50. Is that the fee for you to tow a light vehicle for us, or is that the fee that we have to pay, or the fee that we get?
No, ma'am. Sorry, I'm sorry. No, ma'am. That's going to be the fee that's coming back to you guys. So for every tow out of that, out of whatever we collect, $50 going back to you guys for every vehicle that'll be towed.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Does that cover the officer's time? Is that what that's for?
No, I guess it's just, I mean, every tow that we call it, in other words, like people are saying is every time he tows a vehicle for us, if it's a light vehicle, you're gonna get $50 back. If it's that medium vehicle, we're gonna get $75 back and so on, right?
I have a question on each of your items listed there, light duty, medium duty, you have a labor charge there. Is that in addition to the towing rate?
That would be in example of, let's say it is a accident and there's major cleanup involved, if there's a rollover, if there's, I mean, it's off the road in a ditch, there may be labor. And that's why we do put those prices in there, because we cap our limit at that. So the consumer knows, or so you guys know what the consumer may be charged as a max, but the labor rates, dolly rates, stuff like that, that will not be added on every tow. That is just a maximum fee we will be charging if needed.
Well, that's my concern, is that it'll be in addition to the towing.
Correct, as needed.
Waiting time, if you get out here as an accident and you get out here, call for a record, you get here and the police aren't ready for you to move the vehicle, you're gonna start charging whatever rate you have listed there.
Correct, sir. And a perfect example for that is sometimes we're dispatched out to a fatality accident, an example, and we'll show up and medical examiner may not be ready for the vehicles to be moved or whatever the situation is. And sometimes we will have a driver that's sitting out there 2 to 3 hours on scene, and we do have to charge that for our driver to be paid.
And the mileage rate, that's also in addition to the towing rate?
Correct, sir.
From the shop. to
So-
Seeing.
Yeah,
Back and
so,
forth.
right, so you got dispatched from Pat Booker to Sandy Oaks. Let's just say it's just the vehicle's ready, it's gonna be $250 plus $5 per mile.
So if it's 20 miles.
It says maximum
$100.
of 10, oh yeah, it says whichever
Yeah.
one's greater.
Just cause, I
So
mean,
what is the
the
mileage?
citizen is gonna come to us and say, you're killing me here. Does that, but are we understanding that correctly?
Correct. That is a maximum fee that can be charged. Most of the time we do have a rate lower, but that is just a maximum fee that can be charged.
So you say you serve another municipality in this area. What is the mileage from your facility to the other municipality in this area?
We cap theirs at 20 miles. I believe most of their tows are approximately 26 miles, but we do cap it at 20 miles for them.
Around 20 round trip.
Loaded miles, so it'd be, about 25 en route, 25 loaded, but the rate that we're charging is on the loaded mileage.
So going back to the shop, to the facility.
Correct. Or if it's an accident and if they live right down the road, it would only be the 1 mile, 10 miles, however far the vehicle needs to be towed.
And then
We don't charge the consumer to drive out their mileage because it's not their fault for where we're driving from.
and there's a fuel adjustment.
Mhm. But we're not responsible for that.
Right, I'm saying, like you were saying.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions for Johnny's Record Service? All right, is there anybody else on the line from? I believe we heard from Johnny's, we heard from River City, K3, I think AJ's on the phone. If you're still there. Okay. Well, hold on, AJ, sorry for hold on, he just commented. We're currently working an accident, I won't be able to speak. Okay, all right, that's okay, thank you. All right, guys. We want to make a motion or do we want to postpone for another day?
Well, I will say I don't like this one. There's too many
Which is,
concerning things. This is the first one that we got.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that was at George West.
George
Yeah,
West.
that's way out of.
It's average.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
many reasons, but I would say no to this one.
I like the fact that River City really got into his company, his summary, gave some resources, like his experience and background. I think his charges are fair. He's gonna work with our police as far as impounding and vehicles. I'd
K3 did make a comment that they have a yard in Bear County now.
I would move that we ask our attorney to work with River City and come up with a
City
contract.
I think we need the city administrator and the
I'm sorry,
chief to
yeah.
work with them first and then submit it to
Yep.
the
For-
contract. I
All
just
right. then I
recommend
would,
you modify your motion.
Or
Is that a motion?
city administrator, yes, that's a motion. City administrator and the chief to work with River City to come up with a contract, or an agreeable contract. Hopefully for the next meeting.
And the contract
Yes.
would, term 1 year,
term to 1 year.
renewable.
1 year
renewable,
renewable.
5 year.
I think it's
something
what the
like that.
RFP said was 1 year renewable.
Okay, so if it's an
1 year
RFP.
renewable contract, right, with the, get with the chief and as far as what, needs to be in there as far as what benefits the city. And what,
Based off
is
of
it-
RFP.
right, based off the RFP, what's in the RFP, what was published.
I would second that motion.
Who reads it now? Okay, I do have a motion from Alderman Tremblay and a second from Mayor Pro Tem Madero to authorize the city administrator and the chief of police to work with River City Towing to develop a presentable contract based off of the RFP and to hopefully have it ready in time for our next meeting, next regularly scheduled meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right,
All those opposed? All right, that motion carries.
Our next meeting.
I know,
We get a legal.
so fun. We'll try. We'll try.
or an update.
Yeah.
An update.
All right, so moving on to agenda item 8A, discuss it or possible action on repealing ordinance 2022-201, establishing classifications and positions in the San Diego Police Department by adopting ordinance number 2026-267. Myself and the Mayor Pro Tem kind of chatted a little bit about this one. Really, the biggest issue that I think we saw was that it calls out specifically the number of people in positions. And given that the chief of police and all our departments do need to come to the council to make a hiring recommendation or promotion recommendation, we feel it's a bit too constrictive, and I think the correct solution would be to repeal this in order to, one, not be out of compliance with the ordinance, but two, also to give some flexibility to the chief to staff his department as necessary.
So a couple of key points.
Yep.
Is 201, ordinance 201 specifically says no captains, no lieutenants, no sergeants, 1 corporal or detective, and 2 patrol officers. It specifically laid out numbers. 217 says you can get a lieutenant, a sergeant, and a corporal. I'm assuming a corporal is the same thing as a patrol officer. So maybe we do need to talk about modifying that at some point too. But it doesn't specify how many that can be hired. It kind of leaves that to the discretion of the chief to do that. But 201 also says that it repeals any other ordinances in conflict with it. 217 doesn't say that. So 217 didn't repeal 201 when it wrote it. So because those two pieces conflicted, that's why I asked the mayor about it. Like, does one supersede the other automatically? What was on that? So, and then 180, which is from 2001, that one is referenced in the 217. It's still good. It talks about the qualifications and stuff. So that was the big concern. We didn't want to be, we didn't think we should be that prescriptive in telling the chief how many in each role he'd be allowed to have, because he's got to bring them up anyway.
But it doesn't mention police officer or detective investigator.
Right, so
217 does not.
Right.
201 says 0 lieutenants.
Mhm.
So, and no sergeants, we already have a sergeant, so that one's no good, either, but 217 is at least closer in that it says a lieutenant, sergeant, corporal, those 3 roles, but no specification of how many in each role. So that one is better, still not perfect, so we probably want to talk about getting it better in line.
Right.
Maybe even removing that, we can talk about that later, but the bottom line, 201 and 217 contradict each other, and 217 does not say repeals any conflicting ordinance, whereas 201
So we
said
need to
that.
get that straightened out.
So we just repeal 201 since 217 didn't do that. And then the only other concern is there an issue that 217 doesn't say it doesn't repeal conflicting ordinance and 201 does and already repealed everything before it.
I don't know, I didn't dig that deep.
Let's ask Charles. He signed it.
I read all the ordinances.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. So I would ask the city attorney, if you look at 201, it says it repeals all conflicting ordinances. 217 doesn't say that. And that's why I brought it to the mayor's attention, because there was a conflict between the two. And the number of personnel in 217 didn't repeal 201.
then this would still be at 201 would still be in effect.
Right, but now, but 201 repealed all the conflicting ordinances before it.
Mhm.
217 doesn't say that it repeals conflicting ordinances, so if there's a conflicting ordinance that preceded 201, is it still just repealed and it doesn't matter? That's my,
No, we would have to repeal the conflicting ordinance. I think they would just contradict each other and
so we need to redo
That's it, yeah.
217 anyway, so we can just add that when we redo it. So
So,
that's,
so if we do this, we're repealing 201 anyway.
right,
Okay.
but
I don't see.
But 201, what if there's 200, right? We had ordinance 200 just say, and it talked about the police department. We then did 201 and it repealed 201 because it conflicted. So 201 is
200.
repealed, or 200 is repealed by 201.
Mhm.
Now comes along 217, it doesn't repeal anything, it conflicts 201. But now we do away with 201, 200 is still sitting back here. Is that still repealed? That was my
Well-
question.
If 201 repealed it, then it should have been gone.
That was my question.
Right,
Is it
yes.
still considered gone?
Even if it's repealed.
Superseded.
So that was my question. Are we still good? But we still need to look at 217 anyway, because I don't think the chief wants to be limited to just those three types of people. So we can add it when we redo it anyway. So that was my concern. But if everything that was already repealed by 201 stays repealed by 201, then we're good. Just a week. Sorry. I just trying to dig in and make sure the ordinances should be repealed or repealed.
I don't have anything about.
It wasn't in there. I pulled it off the website.
Okay.
It wasn't in the folder because there's no reason to put it in a
Revision
folder.
of 201.
It's repealing 201. So this 267 is in here, to
Right,
repeal
right.
201.
So 217 shouldn't be in the discussion because it's not on the agenda.
It is in the discussion because it's in
It's
267.
in this ordinance.
267 talks about,
Oh, it does?
I just said
didn't
that
see
it- Yeah.
yeah, so 267 talks about 217 and how it,
Okay, sorry.
yeah.
I see it.
That was my only concern. And then I would constantly put 217 on.
So then well, and I don't know how it necessarily, it will definitely ties in. But, this also gives the chief the flexibility to present if we have two patrol officers and, we're kind of spinning our wheels trying to backfill those. Can we consolidate those? Can he consolidate those and hire, somebody else, right?
Not according to 217.
Right, that's what I'm saying, but by,
So that's why we need 217 on the agenda for later so we can talk about it. The bottom line is,
We need to.
we need to repeal 201, and my only concern with repealing 201 was that 217 doesn't have the repeals conflicting ordinance clause in it.
yeah,
But as long as everything's still repealed, that 201 repealed, then I have no concerns with it.
it should be repealed and it's no longer in effect. It won't come back into effect if we repeal 201. But for clarification, if you want to add a clause that says this ordinance has something to the effect that it has no effect on, or this ordinance does not affect the repealing clause in ordinance 201 and all, you just add that conflicting clause in.
I think we just add the conflicting
216.
clause when we rewrite 217.
Okay.
And I think that would be simpler. Oh, I would have moved to approve ordinance 2025-267.
Second.
Wait.
Wait,
it's not
say that
what I
again,
got
please.
here.
I move to approve ordinance 2026-267. I can't find it to open it up to read what it says.
268.
268, I'm trying to find it in my. There we go. Okay, ordinance 2026-268, an ordinance of the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas, repealing ordinance 2022-201.
A second.
Sorry, 267.
all right, I got a motion by.
Question. 200 and 201 are gone and 217 is the operative.
No, only 201 is gone according to this ordinance here.
Right, 200 was gone by 201.
No,
No,
no, that was just an example I was using.
okay, never mind.
All right, so I have a motion by our Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderman Tremblay to adopt ordinance number 2026-268, an ordinance of the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas, repealing ordinance 2022-201 regarding positions and classifications within the police department and providing for an effective date. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, that motion carries. Okay. Next item is agenda item 8B, discuss or possible action on imposing. Yeah, it does say in the agenda 267.
it does say 267.
Yeah.
And in the folder, it says 267. Is it 267 or 268?
I got 268.
Well, the ordinance says
On the agenda, it
268.
says two
You have the
sixty-seven.
printed copy, the copy on the
Yeah,
network
online it
drive,
says 268. Yeah.
so
The one that was emailed, the one that came out,
the one
that
that,
was emailed is correct, 268.
the one that's on the network folder
Yes.
says 267.
So yeah,
Mine
so
says-
that we did go update that today, so the one that's printed out, it should be two.
So we updated it today.
It's
See,
268.
I don't download every day. I only download one and download when it's updated.
I have
So
to
I
see.
downloaded last
The
night.
actual ordinance says 268.
Okay,
Okay. All right, agenda item 8B, discuss and possible action on imposing a tax increase for the fiscal year 27. So this is just a conversation.
I think it's a little premature that
It's not, because our city attorney already asked if we need to put it on the ballot. We need to have the discussion now.
can we wait until next week or next meeting when you bring back the fixed budget? Cause we can't understand what's in our budget based on what we looked at today. Can we delay
Sure, whatever. We can delay all we want, but I mean, it's a yes or no, right?
looking at?
So if a proposed tax rate is gonna go over the voter approval rate, then you have to have the tax rate adopted before the deadline to call an election. So the mayor would need to get his budget filed. I think the timing was sometime in June, for the tax rate adoption around July, August.
what is the limit for that going to?
So the voter approval rate is 3.5% of what the no new revenue rate is, or what the current rate
Well,
effectively
I
is.
think
Um,
just to be minimal, if we stay below that without having to go to election, that gives us more.
Yeah, I mean, we can increase it by 3.5%, right?
And I
That-
think we
and that
should
doesn't
stay
need-
below that and without.
But
having
what
to
is
put
that
it-
amount, 3.5%? What is that amount we have
The
to stay
budget needs
below?
to, well, the budget needs to reflect what the tax increase is, so it's a two-tier approach. You can't just say, okay, we're gonna go for a 3% increase without having a budget to back it up.
Wait a minute. I thought it was 3.5% of what the tax rate was last year. Or what the tax amount was last year. What is the 3.5% of?
of the
The no new
no
revenue.
new revenue rate, which is the amount, which is what the tax rate would be to give the city the same amount of what they collected.
Right, which then you have to consider any changes in property tax valuations and changes in new properties that have been switched.
We don't
from
even
a-
have any kind of ballpark, like
Right,
what,
right.
what our no new tax rate is. We got
Correct.
no idea.
Correct, but we have an administrator now, we have a code enforcement officer, we're gonna have two, you know what I mean? Like, we've got things we've gotta spend money on. So
But-
to say the no new revenue, to say the no new revenue rate is the amount we need to go with would be a misstatement, because we cannot support a city administrator.
Well, I agree.
So we could carry this
So-
to next meeting. But have the.
I got no
where we
numbers to
can-
understand what we're talking about.
understand it.
I'm totally lost when it
Yeah.
comes to tax
Yeah.
stuff. From the city perspective. So when telling me 3.5%,
We need
if
to,
we, does that mean you're gonna raise the citizens' taxes by 3.5%? No, you're
No.
not. So what is that 3.5% of? I mean, I don't have any understanding, and my guess is if we were to sit here and say, yes, we're gonna raise it by more than 3.5%, any citizen that hears that is not gonna understand what we're
Oh.
talking about.
Right,
sure,
Right.
because we still have to vote on a budget. So I mean, the idea
well-
is, do we prepare a budget that reflects the new price of a city administrator? Or do we go with the current way that we do it with no new revenue
we
and doesn't allow for the addition of a city administrator?
need the administrator to sit down and look at all the salaries, look at our expenses, the new hires, all the new hires we've had this year and looking at what we anticipate, because we've talked about some other positions as well. Although we haven't approved anything, but you may need to sit down with Jermaine and put those in there as well, so that we have a number, and then we can can we do that for the next meeting? Is it doable? So I would postpone this to the next meeting and where we have some numbers. And then we can.
Yeah,
discuss
it wasn't
possible
a, we're gonna do this today. It's,
Right,
do we think we need to go ahead and do that? Because as it stands and as we've done in the past, we cannot afford the positions
oh,
that we
and
have.
we've stayed with the same tax rate since, inception, so it's something we've.
That's not true. Our tax rate went down last year and went up
That's
the year
what I'm saying.
before. So, no,
Pretty close.
we haven't stayed the
Yeah.
same.
And
But I need some numbers, because none of this makes sense. So if we make a vote today, I can't vote because I don't have any numbers in front of me other than 3.5%, and that doesn't mean much to me because I'm just not smart in this.
I would move that we postpone this to the next meeting
The total
and have
Bear
our
County
city administrator give us some numbers that we can
Right.
make a decision on.
And just for clarification, if the council does adopt a tax rate that is over the voter approval rate, there is a de minimis rate, which gives smaller cities the opportunity to adopt a tax rate that is over the voter approval rate without an automatic election. So citizens would have to petition. So, but still, if that is a rate that this council is going to adopt that is over the voter approval rate, it needs to be before an election can be called to give the citizens the opportunity to petition if they need to, or if they want to.
Yes.
So just to clarify, it's not, it may not be an automatic
And so
election.
what is our drop dead date? We
Have
election.
to go back and look at the deadline. Oh, the drop dead, I think it's like usually August 18th to call the election. Around, it's that Monday around that date, and then, but the mayor would need to file his budget with the proposed tax rate, council adopt the tax rate. Give
It
citizens
would be
time
for
to
a
petition.
November election?
Yes, it'd be on that November election ballot.
All right, we have time
I think just because it.
for next meeting.
Because the amount of time that the mayor needs to do the the city administrator needs to do up the budget. I don't think we should wait until the last minute, so. But yeah, I do think we need to wait to get more information, but I think Alderman, Crickmer had a question.
Well, my understanding is you have the Bear County property taxes and Sandy Oaks is a very minuscule amount of the total. And 3.5% would be 1.35% of what it is now.
But I don't know what
Which
it is
is-
now.
Well, it's on your tax, it's on the tax statement, isn't it?
Yes, but again, right, because the no new revenue rate, right? That's the one thing that even I forget about, is that properties change, right? There's no longer a home there. There's now a home there, right? There's a mobile home there, whatever it may be. The properties change statuses, right? So if we, let's just say our rate was 0.38 last year, but the no new revenue rate based off of the increase the number of properties is now 0.35. We can only go up 3.5% over that, right? So that's the complexity of it. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
so if we have $1 million worth of property and last year, and we're doing a tax rate of 1% of that, then this year we have $1.5 million worth of property. Our new tax rate cannot exceed
Correct.
3.5% of that 1% we made last year.
Right, exactly.
Okay, I got it. That makes a little bit more sense of why this is so complicated.
And just for.
And it's certainly a dart throwing expedition.
Last year.
Because they may say no, and we've got to go back to the regular budget, so.
But that's why the tax rate went down last time, because we had an increase in property. In order to stay underneath that 3.5. Okay.
That's why we had to come
My
back to it.
budget
remember?
class is the next class.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
coming along.
And I think last year the de minimis rate was significantly higher. I think it was at the 50 cent level.
Yeah.
So the city could potentially go that high without an automatic election. Council, the citizens would have to petition though. So
Right.
you do have some flexibility where you're not locked into that 3.5% unless you don't do the tax rate in time for them to call an election.
Yeah, but we're
So
taking a
that's-
wag here because we got no idea how much our tax base has increased.
Yep.
And
This
you
year.
don't know until.
Until they get that. thing
About the time it starts.
Around the time we
Sure,
gotta
and just
decide.
getting
whether
your
it's-
evaluation, maybe you'll
and don't-
mailed out
and-
your new tax bill.
And just don't forget too, for those that are up for election, right? You've got to take that into consideration when they see your name on that ballot and you voted yes to an approval, right? So.
Second.
Yeah, if we can, we're also, the motion was postponed this, item.
We don't need a motion to postpone, do we? Don't you just say postpone?
I can postpone it.
Attached to the,
Postpone to the next meeting with some additional information.
All right, that was 8B.
8B.
All right. Discuss it or possible C, agenda item 8C, discuss for possible action on pay adjustment for Public Works employee Michael Avendano with an effective date.
yeah, I've moved to increase, Michael Avendano's, pay to, $1.50 increase per hour.
Second.
All right, I got a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by Alderman McNeil to increase the pay rate for Michael Avendano by $1.50. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, that motion carries. Let's
Well,
vote.
sorry, we'll go back to the 8B, so, who made the first motion and who made the second?
There was no motion. We're just gonna postpone.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
All right, so agenda item 8D, discussing our possible action on hiring a code enforcement officer. Dr. Johnson, Chief Waters, you do have the floor, or I guess,
Oh, I moved that we, give his job offer to, George Aguilar at, pay rate of $23 an hour. Based on his start date of when, I will get
Yeah.
up to him when he can start.
You can hire them in for enforcement. You second?
or code enforcement
Code
official,
enforcement
right?
official,
Yeah, for a
yeah,
90
for
day
$23
period.
an hour.
So code enforcement official, $23 an hour, and then the start date, 2 weeks or
We'll
what,
say it's
how are they
2 weeks,
negotiating?
I think he needs to give a 2 week,
Okay.
notice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, do I have a second?
Second.
Should be two, sorry. All right, I have a second. I have a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by our Mayor Pro Tem to offer George Aguilar the position of code enforcement official with the starting pay of $23 with the starting date to be negotiated after this meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, keep it moving. Agenda item 8E, discuss and or take action to advertise the vacant animal shelter technician position. I just wanted to bring it up to the council to see if they're in agreement that we should go ahead and repost the position. I believe in speaking with Ashley and Cassandra. They are both adamant that it is something that they want. But that's what I wanted to bring it to y'all for.
I think we need it as a part-time position still, especially since we have somebody coming in to take care of the kennels on the weekend. I recommend that if we do advertise, it, we utilize the job ad that was approved by the city council at the previous meeting. That the one that Ashley helped us write, it was the one that CJ and I brought to the meeting, and I can resend that if you guys don't have that. Especially if they still think they need it, I think it makes sense, because you can do this.
Anybody else?
Wilson County News.
So, yeah, and I also think we need to advertise in the typical places, not just on our website. I know there's a
Website.
slight cost for the website,
EML,
TML, and the Wilson County News.
think the news, or should we better spend our money in like Indeed or something?
Indeed, valid
This is
point.
for
sir.
the animal control.
Animal
technician.
Shelter technician,
And it's part-time.
This part.
part-time.
I think we should really try and focus on somebody here in the city being as part-time. We might have.
Yeah.
You know, some takers rather than going and spending money up front. Why don't we try just doing it local?
Okay, well, then I would move that we have the city administrator post the previously approved animal shelter technician job ad on the city website and on Indeed as a part-time position. I believe we targeted $15 an hour in the budget.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion by our Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderman Tremblay to repost the animal shelter technician to the website and Indeed with the starting salary of $15 an hour, a part-time position. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, that keeps it moving. And then agenda item F, discuss and or take action to advertise the vacant deputy court clerk or deputy city clerk position. This is the now vacant position from Lisa Quintero. She has moved on to another role with another city. And so this would be just to backfill her position if we chose to do so.
That's a full-time position,
It is part-time.
part-time.
Part-time, about the same, I think it was at the same rate of $15 an hour. I think it's a good help for Jermaine, for Dr. Johnson, excuse me, and for Delma, and for Jeremy. That person was really kind of the trifecta.
Does not providing these tablets free up a lot of time in the office there?
They were spending 2 people a whole day to do that.
Yes.
And I think they have some additional overhead with Dr. Johnson now working there that might help. So I think we might want to wait before we go and advertise this
Fill that
position
position.
and just
Yeah.
see how it's gonna go. Because even when looking at the weekly report, I'm not saying 80 hours worth of work between those 2 positions. Now, I understand they're helping Dr. Johnson with some of his workload, but give him time to get settled and see if he thinks that he can use the extra help in the front office before we jump into ad.
That a motion?
So, no, that's my perspective on this. Because if we're not gonna,
I'll move that we hold off filling that
Postpone.
position.
Yeah.
Postpone.
until such time as
Until such
Dr.
time as
Johnson
the
makes the
workload,
decision, we want to
uh,
consider it. So that doesn't need a motion, just to postpone it.
Okay, so then we'll
Another reason we put it on there, just because, we don't use a deputy court clerk, just a deputy clerk to help us. That those interchangeable, basically, that job description between court clerk or the deputy.
Yeah, the mayor was very careful when he advertised that, so that they could
Okay.
use those, yes.
All right, so we're gonna postpone this. Okay, so then let's move on to agenda item
And it's
8
postponing until,
until,
yeah, so
yeah,
not a
we can
date
re-
associated with it, so.
yep, indefinitely. All right, 8G, discuss or possible action prohibiting the use of wireless communication devices while operating a motor vehicle within city limits by adopting an ordinance. So in order, most cities, and I hate over big government and overstep. It's Chief, would you like to describe why it's a Texas law and it needs a city ordinance?
So there is a law against the law to text while driving, but it's not against the law to use your phone while driving. Unless you're in a municipality with over 100,000 people, or unless the city has adopted a city ordinance saying you cannot. Now you can use the wireless device, but in the city of, and so it came to be when officers wrote a citation because somebody went through a stop sign and they were on the cell phone, looking at the cell phone. That's not even, you can't text while drive, but you can talk on the phone while drive.
Because we
in
don't
our
have enough
city.
people in our town.
Yeah.
Now, if we pass a city ordinance that says you can't talk on your phone while driving, then,
All right, so driving around like this.
right,
Right.
that would be illegal.
This would
Now,
be
a
legal.
wireless device could be okay,
Yeah.
or the speaker, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this ordinance doesn't say that a handheld device is allowed. That was one of my concerns about this ordinance, is I didn't see where it says you could use the handheld device, that it was an option that we could decide. But not that it was authorized by this.
Did I see that the state requires us to post signs?
Yep,
If we pass
And-
this ordinance.
Yeah.
Where we're gonna get the signs and
just get them made. They're by ordinance number, whatever this is,
That's-
2026-267. All right, we would post it right at the city limits, so that way everybody has access to it.
3 of them.
We'd have to do it at all 3,
Yeah, Lamb Road,
but will we have to do
entrance.
it at both ends of Lamb Road, both ends of,
yeah,
no, Mathis only has one end that comes in, but
Right.
just both ends of Lamb.
yeah, Lamb turning off the
Lamb.
Priest, Priest coming in, right? Mathis coming in, and then likely off of 37 coming in. That covers all the points of entry for the city.
So are those changes that I requested Dr. Johnson incorporated into this version that's on the network now?
No, that's not.
All right, so let me go over those real quick. Just for situational awareness. So, I had 2 questions too, which I'll ask. So. Couple of changes, I'll make them all as one motion, if that's acceptable.
I have
So
a
if you-
question though.
Yeah, I have a couple questions
Okay.
too, but I want to correct these typos first. So if you don't mind, I'll do these and then, give it to you. So in section 6A, paragraph A, It says an operator of an authorized emergency personnel. So I move to strike personnel and insert vehicle.
6A, operator of an authorized emergency.
Yeah.
Well, authorized emergency personnel is a definition,
Okay.
so do you need authorized person, emergency personnel, just add vehicle?
It says an
Section
operator,
two.
even if you say vehicle, it doesn't make sense. An operator of an authorized emergency personnel. Is that how it's defined? Operator, authorized emergency personnel
Well, yeah, but
is a person.
Just get rid of
But-
van.
I was just trying to say a vehicle, because it's an operator of a vehicle, not an operator of a personnel.
authorized.
Oh, okay, I was just gonna be, so just vehicle?
Correct.
Strike personnel and insert vehicle. I mean, unless there's something in Texas code that would indicate we need to say an authorized emergency personnel vehicle, I think. Do we need to define it if we change it to
It
that?
already breaks it down that it's the operator. Right?
So this, let me ask you a question, because the way it reads is an operator of an authorized emergency vehicle acting in official capacity. So if the chief takes a vehicle home and he's on his phone, now can he get a ticket? Right? Because he's not in official capacity? Okay. Good. Give him one.
An operator of an authorized emergency personnel does not make sense.
No.
Yeah,
And
vehicle
I
makes
think
sense.
personnel needs to be
Vehicle.
struck and vehicle needs to be inserted.
Dr. Johnson, are you taking these motions down?
He's got it all in an email. He has
You have to
it
read
all
them
in
back.
email. And then,
Encore presentation.
in section 10, severability, the Oxford comma is missing after the word clause at the end of the first line. And then again, in the
After clause.
third line, so yeah, after the word clause. And then again in the fourth line, so insert an Oxford comma after the word clause, the 3 times that appears in paragraph 10.
The Oxford comment is not as important as you think it is.
I know it's not, but
I
it's
did the-
recommended for legal writing.
I did the research and that lawsuit has been now amended inside Texas law, so
Well,
while it is an issue, it's no longer,
so, and
but I
then,
have them down.
and then in section 10, add a comma after determined in the first line. And then after in meeting in the third line,
In section 10?
in section
11.
11.
Oh, 11. All right, determined and then meeting. Is it in the third line? Okay,
In the third line.
got it.
That's it. Then everything else I have is a question for discussion.
Okay, I have,
What,
I don't have a
Yeah.
resolution for this. I have
can
questions.
we address that motion I just made? To amend those items first.
I'll second that motion.
All right, I got a motion by Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderman Tremblay to in section 6, exceptions A, strike personnel and insert vehicle after emergency. And then in section 10, insert an Oxford comma after clause in the first line, after clause in the third line, after clauses in the fourth line. In section 11, after determined in the first line and after meeting in the 1 to 3rd line. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, that motion carries to make those amendments. Ma'am, you have the floor.
Okay, I have a question about section 4, item A. It says, show post signs, etc., that state that an operator is prohibited from using a wireless communication device while operating a motor vehicle in the city. Got that. And whether use of a wireless communication device with hands-free device is allowed in the city. That's the part I question. What the heck does that even mean? And is that supposed to be stated on the sign? Because that's what we're talking about in this section.
Yeah, because they usually say
It's handheld.
it's a phone with
Yeah,
the circle
with a
crossed
circle.
out and it says not allowed within the city.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's what it means.
Who makes the decision? So that's another typo.
The
by the way.
question was whether
There's a
use of,
hands-free. I mean, where in this ordinance does it say whether or not we can do hands-free? Where is that decision made? Because it sounds like what she just read says if it's allowed, we need to add that on the
Right.
sign, but how do we determine if it's allowed if it's not in this ordinance?
The last section of section
This
3
section-
says this section is not applicable to use of the hands. So it's allowed.
Section 2B. as
So
well.
that implies,
That's
okay, so that's where that
The
comes from.
definition.
I was confused by that.
Right.
Issue.
it's
So look at
the,
section
it's
3.
the whether use of
Mhm.
Right.
business that confuses me.
Whether
it doesn't
use of the
state-
wireless
It doesn't state either or, it doesn't state one way or another. Do we agree with that or not?
Or maybe just edit it to say, and that vice whether. Is that what you mean?
And
That
So-
use of the wireless common
and that
device.
use of a wireless communication device with.
Well, so
hands-free
whether
device.
use of a communication device, what, I just didn't understand that, but, what our city attorney just says is it's specified in the section just above this,
Right.
that this doesn't apply to hands-free devices. So we're saying in this town, we're allowed to use hands-free devices. So this section doesn't make that determination. So the way I read that, the way I understand that to mean, now that I know that, is that the sign has to say whether or not the use of wireless communication devices are authorized, because that is what the Texas Transportation Code, section 545.425 states. That's what the code says we have to do. We have, because it's not dictating whether we have to allow hands-free devices. That section of code says you need to annotate on that sign whether or not we're allowed to.
So we need to determine whether or not. we're
It's
going-
determined right there in
It's
section
determined
3.
in 3.
Yeah.
It says it right there.
Yeah. This section is not applicable to use of hands-free device.
Okay.
So basically,
Oh,
like I said,
oh, I
sign, this
see, I see.
sign has a picture of a cell phone with a circle. with a
Right,
line
this
through it.
section doesn't identify
That's
the section.
basically
which
what,
is in.
Well,
I
it's
get it.
talking about prohibition against that.
Oh, okay. So, am I understanding that properly though? That that's what the Texas code says, and that's why we have that in here. And we specified previously that hands-free are,
Allowed.
but there's also an extra space in hands-free A.
That doesn't need a motion.
Hmm?
So that doesn't need a motion to remove hands-free.
All right, I move that we approve ordinance number 2026-267, ordinance City Council,
Wait, wait,
Sandy
wait.
Oaks,
Oh, never mind, go ahead.
prohibiting the use of a wireless communication device while operating a motor vehicle within the city limits, providing for penalty, providing for severability, and open meeting clause, and providing for an effective date and publication.
It's amended. It's amended.
As amended.
All right. I have a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by Alderman McNeil to adopt ordinance number 2026-267 as amended, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks, Texas, prohibiting the use of a wireless communication device while operating a motor vehicle within the city limits, providing for a penalty, providing for severability and open meetings clause, and providing for an effective date and publication. We do have the motion is on the floor. You do have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to understand what section 6C is saying. Because it says,
Six
it's
what?
talking about
C.
6C,
C.
section 6C, it's talking about operator of a school bus. It says that, the bus driver in a manner, using a two-way radio communication device in a school bus, passenger bus, or commercial vehicle. Why would a school bus driver be in a commercial vehicle and allowed to use this two-way? I'm just wondering.
Or-
Or CB radios or.
Yeah, the school bus is a commercial vehicle.
But why do we need both school bus and commercial vehicle then if the school bus is a commercial vehicle?
Because a commercial vehicle is also an 18-wheeler.
But why would we allow a school bus driver, just because they're a school bus driver, to use a two-way radio
Headsets.
while they're in a,
Headsets to
Why-
communicate to home office.
Yeah, they
Or
need
passenger
to,
bus.
yeah.
Yeah, if they need to pull out.
Dispatch or.
Disruptive behavior on the bus, they need to call in.
while on a school bus,
Yes.
but not a commercial vehicle?
Commercial vehicles are allowed to have headsets.
But why would a school bus driver be driving a commercial vehicle?
I don't think that's how it reads. A manner using two-way radio. Oh, I see. Well, yeah, it does say an operator of a school bus or passenger bus
So, yeah.
or
so we have a
commercial
school
vehicle.
bus driver that's coming through town with an 18-wheeler and we're gonna let him use a hand, you let him use, two-way radio because he's driving an 18-wheeler and his job's as a
That's
school bus
passenger.
driver.
I have seen,
Or operator of a commercial
I
vehicle.
have seen Southside Independent School District, in the city in a suburban.
And that,
So would that be classified as a commercial vehicle? Has markings for Southside Independent School
That's what I
District, and it's a Chevy
At
Suburban.
all, yeah, that's what I was.
So
that,
I would say, yes.
But that's a passenger bus.
that's different than a
It's still
cell phone.
commercial.
Yeah.
Too, though, that's not a
So,
cell
Just
phone.
because we have a school bus, we have a passenger bus, and then we have a generic commercial vehicle.
Right, and I'm
So why would we let a school bus driver or a commercial or a passenger bus driver, someone that should be driving a bus, comes through town with in a commercial vehicle, they're allowed to use a two-way radio
to-
just because their day job is a school bus driver.
They
based
may
on
not
that.
be familiar with the route, they may need,
It's
I
the
mean,
way
they
it's
communicate
written.
with their dispatch. And so.
When
yes,
they're working as a school
Right,
bus driver,
right.
I'm saying they're coming into town in a commercial vehicle.
Isn't the
But
passenger
In
bus
a,
commercial
in a
vehicle?
school district vehicle,
The issue is the way it's written.
Isn't a passenger bus a commercial
But we-
vehicle?
But we say school bus, passenger bus, or commercial vehicle. I'm trying to understand why we call out a school bus, call out a passenger bus, and then generalize in a commercial vehicle. That leaves a big opening for
Okay,
the school bus
I'll-
driver.
I'll
So I'm
put it,
just
I'll
trying
put
to
it,
understand that.
I'll put it in another, definition. The South Side District has an 18-wheeler that they transport their band equipment in. There's a commercial vehicle.
So a
they
school
do
bus
have
driver
other-
driving that
Yes,
18-wheeler is
Yes.
allowed to talk in a two-way radio, is what
well,
we're
that's
saying.
that's what we're saying,
Okay,
yes. So there are
But only if
commercial
it's a
vehicles,
school bus driver or a passenger.
right,
bus.
they have to have a license to drive those.
So not a commercial vehicle.
Commercial line.
The school bus driver passenger could be in a commercial vehicle, but we're not saying any truck driver in the city.
These
No.
are
The CDL license.
No, we're saying,
Are my-
we're saying the school bus.
Okay.
Was this the
It's
right from
by
Texas?
school.
Yeah,
law?
it relates to
Bus
the
driver.
schools.
Performance of their duty, doesn't matter what they're driving, right? If you're using a commercial motor vehicle and you're coming through,
Chief
you
has,
should be able to use. these
Chief, can you
lights.
repeat that starting from the beginning, what you just said?
I mean, I think you'll just leave it at, as long as they're using they're operating, but in a manner, like the way we said earlier about
Their professional capacity.
in their professional capacity. So it doesn't matter if you're an 18-wheeler driver coming through town, you should be able to use your headset or wireless.
Your headset,
device.
correct.
Doesn't matter if you're driving a school bus, it doesn't matter if you're driving any type of commercial motor vehicle, use a wireless device because it's safer, right? So somehow, somewhere just end it with, as long as they're using it in their
Operator duty.
right, official operator duties, which pretty much any if you are operating a CMV, you are doing your operating, even if you're driving it home to park it, that is part of your duties of driving that vehicle. You need to take it somewhere to park, right? So I think as long as they're official capacity, they can be able to do.
We're probably just use the word commercial vehicles because 13 passenger van.
Well, if they've got a
anything
headset
over
on,
13
that's
passengers
hands-free.
are Considered a, commercial vehicle, so and communication device in a commercial vehicle. I'll leave it at that.
Isn't that
Okay,
correct?
so we had a motion and a
If they're-
second, and there was a question. Are we done with that?
It's hands-free if they've got a headset on,
Okay.
correct? So it's covered.
All right, I do have a motion. I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right,
Nice.
All those opposed?
No,
All right, that motion carries. All right, agenda item 8H, discussing a possible action on a professional service contract for city website redesign. Dr. Johnson, you do have the floor.
Yeah, so it goes back to 7 and 8. What we're looking at is working with Citrus Plus and Unicode. And what they would do is all of our ordinances put in one place, same thing with the schedule of fees. And right now, we're not in compliance with WS.
CAG.
CAG not in compliance with those guys. So we get Civic Plus to take care of about 88 compliance. And our codifications. So what I'm doing now is all the codifications that, Mayor Pro Tem sent me, CJ announced, and I've been working with the mayor. I'm planning on separating those that are not up to standard, not putting those on the website yet, however, the ones that are gonna move from ordinances that are up to standard, go ahead and put those on the new website. So my plan is to, have Civic Plus give us a presentation during the next meeting and let us know what we can offer, so they'll be in compliance. So it'll take care of it'll take care of all of our non-compliances, basically. And also,
So you're talking about redoing the entire city's website?
yes.
So not just the ordinance? And so we still have the police department section where they can go out and post what they want. We still have our job ads. We'd still have public works and park and all of that would still be out there.
Yeah.
And they would control what goes on there, or would we have the ability, or do we just need to wait until they come and present that to them?
We would send
Yes,
it to
we're gonna
them.
give them, we're gonna give them what we have so far, so, and you can tell them what needs to be adjusted, basically, so, it's probably better to wait.
It would take it would take that also, it would take that off our hands, right? So tomorrow, when we post the ordinances, we send it to them and uploads. Same thing for the job positions, we send it to them and they upload it. So it would take the administrative part of it out of our hands. But again, the real reason why we want to do the website redesign and continue the discussion is because we are out of compliance. We have a year to become ADA compliant with our website. And that's all documents, that's all subsites, everything that's within our
We're
website.
not gonna do that with code.
Right. Well, we can if we had a proper web designer that was on staff that worked 40 hours a week just on that.
Yeah.
But we don't, right? So that's why we want to seek a third party to take it all over. And because they're already doing it with other municipalities, then that's why we sought to them to give us a full-on estimate of a total redesign.
I would just ask that when they're presenting that to us, that those entities that currently post things to our websites, like the police department, be present to hear that and ask any questions that they might have. Those that actively use stuff. I don't know who posts the park stuff, who posts the public works stuff, just whoever uses our current website. I think they need to hear that presentation when you have them bring it to us, but we definitely should need something.
It is the city administrator that posts everything and our ever so helpful alderwoman,
Oh, you don't have
CJ.
anything else? Oh, that's
No, the
cool.
police department has their own social media site, but no, we don't, on our website, on the city website, post stuff, we usually send it to her.
So the mayor and it would take the workload off of them then, okay. Yeah, we just would need to make sure everybody's aware who to send stuff to, so it's got bothered with CJ and
Yeah.
the mayor with that stuff.
Is it WordPress? That's the,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the right person needs to be in there, right? That
right,
has,
wouldn't that be quite an upgrade though to use WordPress?
I think it is WordPress. Yeah,
We are?
yeah.
That's our managed WordPress is the operating software. GoDaddy is the hoster.
Yep.
The website domain, the SQL, all
So we
that.
just want to change the provider.
Yeah, I think
Well,
that's
yeah,
also,
but I think a redesign is in order
Yeah.
since a lot of stuff is locked and we can't make changes to it.
And it's gotta be up to a certain code too, right? So
Correct.
And the
We can
ADA.
search all the ordinances and all that stuff. Right?
with just American Disability.
Yeah.
And so just to give you an idea what,
Yeah, but I was wondering why, how?
because
Because
for,
what if you're blind? How are you gonna navigate our website?
With Braille on the computer?
No, most people have a software application that reads the website to you,
Oh,
but
yeah,
our
yeah,
website has to be able to integrate with those software
We have
products
to
that
have
are out
that?
there.
Yep.
Yeah. You can't discriminate.
No, I know.
35 years ago, President Bush signed that into law.
so yeah, it's because OCRs, and we have about 20 different deficiencies on our website right now, but the OCRs cannot pick up our website effectively, and so a lot of stuff gets lost in translation. And the one that we did see, Dr. Johnson and myself in a demonstration, it can pick up written text. So there's still some little bit of adjustments you need to make, but what do they say, 98% of correctiveness on handwritten notes?
As long as you don't write like a doctor.
Exactly.
Will there be Spanish translation?
Yes, they have Google Translate on there to convert to Spanish.
Yeah, both of the codification companies talked to us about having that capability. How did we discover this deficiency, or is this just something we've already known about? And didn't
It's
have
been
to-
building.
The Cassandra, the attorney told me, and so then I put it on the radar and started having conversations called TML. And then they kind of redirected me. I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Same people that do codification. And then they went through a full-on presentation and then we're now seeking outside. So the website's going to be the most expensive part. The documentation conversion, that's not very expensive so far, what I'm seeing. But the website redesign and all that.
So redesigning the website would be a significant cost up front, but maintaining it would be
Thousands a
along
year.
the same cost as maintaining our codification stuff.
Correct. And maintaining GoDaddy, which is, has so much.
And then how does this impact our email since we use GoDaddy for email
We'll
too?
likely use GoDaddy for email hosting. I don't know the technical aspect of that, but that's a good question to have. We may still need them for Outlook purposes.
You might check on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I already said that. I don't know the technical component of it, but we can find out.
But if they recommend that we change or do something.
Yeah, and it would be, and hopefully we can utilize the same addresses.
And Civic Plus is geared towards municipalities, cities.
Most of
etc.
those companies
Yep.
that spoke with us were geared towards.
But GoDaddy is not.
So, GoDaddy, no.
Yeah, they're
but-
just,
So.
they're
and
just
if
a
we-
host.
Okay, full package, everything. That would be
Long
helpful.
ago, there was discussion about .org versus.
It's there to be
.com.
purchased. It's there to
It's
be
very
purchased.
expensive, correct?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the reason we didn't do it?
It's not too much. I mean, it's a few $1,000s, but
It's if people just type in, say, John down the street, just types in City of Sandy Oaks. It might bring up our site, but if they just automatically assume it's a .com, plug in .com, it's not gonna bring up .org.
right.
It's temperamental in that.
So
way.
you
Or it's
wanna-
Not above the fold.
Right, and so one of the things on GoDaddy is, do you want to buy different domains, right? .org, .gov, .ai, whatever,
.net.
yeah, .net,
Yeah.
.aol, just kidding.
Would they die?
Save
Um,
yourself.
But, yeah, I know, seriously. But yeah, we do have that option to purchase other domains, so that way, when you search up, or if somebody doesn't purchase domains up right from under us and creates a malicious website or whatever it may be.
Mhm.
So, lots of options. But again, this was just a introductory conversation, let you know what we're doing. It's gonna be on future agendas. It's gonna cost some money. We're gonna have to figure out how to pay for it, but we have to do it for compliance. So. Take your calculators out whenever we get to it.
Thinking it's gonna be expensive.
It will be.
But it's
Not
been,
once we make the conversion, but we have to do it.
right,
Because the government.
but
the
11
government
years,
Did that conversion like 20 years ago.
yeah, 11 years. And this is international code, right? So it's just now flowing down to the state level. So we have to be compliant. All right, well, there's only one more agenda item, guys.
Move to adjourn.
All right, it's now 9:21. We are adjourned.
901.
9:01, we are adjourned. I added 20 minutes.